Hey YouTube, it's your girl Dr. J, and today I'm going to do a video on something that I usually don't do on this channel. And what I'm going to be doing is talking about something that's not directly related to homeschooling, but it's just something that we do in my household. And the reason why I chose to do this video is because I really love watching videos where I see people doing things that's different than what we do in our home. I love that. I love the concept of watching people do things different and showing my kids what true diversity is all about. And so I said, well, since I like to watch those things, maybe other people would be interested in something that we do that may be different from what they do in their home. And so I'm going to talk about something that we have coming up for our family, and that is going to be on Saturday, September the 7th, 2013. At sundown will be, for us, the start of Taruw'ah. And Taruw'ah is a Hebrew word, and it means to shout for joy or to sound the alarm. And a lot of times you will see people with a ram's horn out there blowing it. I'm not going to blow it because I'm not very good at blowing it. But that is what we will be celebrating starting at sundown on this Saturday. And for us, we're actually not Jewish. We're not, Hebrew. We're not, we don't consider ourselves anything like that. We are not Messianic. We actually don't have any specific religious affiliation. We are what we call Torah observant. So we observe the Torah, we seek to understand it for ourselves and live in a way that we think is consistent with people who have a covenant relationship. And because of that, we tend to do things a little bit differently than you would traditionally find in homes that are specifically Jewish or Messianic or Black Hebrew or something like that. Even though we use a lot of similar words, a lot of things that we do are very different. And one of the reasons why it's very different is because for us, we do, with the Torah, we actually do Hebrew to English translation. And so with that, we try to find the oldest available text. And for us, that is the Qumran scrolls, also known as the Dead Sea Scrolls, for some things, but of course the Qumran scrolls were not found completely intact. So where they're missing, we put in information from the Masoretic text. And again, we start at the Hebrew and we translate into English. A lot of times we use software like Logo software and then other types of resources. Even things like the Strong's Concordance at times. And so we translate for ourselves. So we tend to have a very different type of understanding than what you would find in traditional Jewish homes or Messianic homes. Another thing that's different, I think, to say like who we would be most similar to in our interpretation would be like a Karaite Jewish interpretation, where Karaite Jews rely on the written Torah and do not rely on like the Talmud or what would be considered the oral Torah. So we would be most aligned with a Karaite Jewish perspective, but with a Karaite Jewish perspective is the belief that the Messiah is going to come, whereas for us, we believe that the Messiah, Yahushua, will actually be returning. So we believe that, he did come, did the work that he was supposed to do, and was designed to do, and then he will be returning. And so that's one of the reasons why the feast for us is such a big deal. We celebrate the 7 feasts that are sometimes called the biblical feasts, and we celebrate the 7 feasts that are actually named in the Torah. So we have the spring feast, Passover, first fruits, unleavened bread, and Shabbat, or 7 sevens. And then we have what we are entering into now, which is the fall feast, where we have Taruw'ah, which means shout for joy, Yom Kippur, for us, is translated as the Day of Reconciliation, and Sukkot, where we get to camp out. And I'm definitely going to do a video on Sukkot because it's just really fun. And it's really interesting to see people out there camping. And it's not like, a one-day feast. It goes on for, 10 days, 7 days. And so it's just really fun. And something that's new for people. So one of the things that we really like to do is we love the aspects of allowing our children to see things that like what they're doing. It may not be something that's really popular where we are, but the times that they're celebrating, these are the same times that were celebrated all the way back to the days of Moses or Moshe. And so that's really good for us. One of the reasons is because we're in an area that there's not there's not a lot of people that celebrate the 7 feasts. So it can be a little strange for the kids at times where they're like, okay, how come nobody else knows that it's a special day? How come nobody else is saying that this is the miracle Taruw'ah? And like, okay, well, it's okay if just because there's not a lot of people doing it, you have to look over time. So let's look back over the last 4,000 years. See, now it's a really big party. So that's really cool. But I love the fact that we get to do something that's fun for the kids, and that's really important to me because we actually don't celebrate a lot of the holidays that are traditionally celebrated, especially in the United States. So we do celebrate the birthdays, and for us, we do that because in the scriptures, whether you use the Torah, or the Tanakh, or the Bible, you will see that we know how old people were. And so we say, okay, well, if we know how old people were, that's because somebody was taking a record. So yeah, happy birthday to you, kid. So we do celebrate birthdays, and my husband and I, we do celebrate our anniversary. But with those, apart from those, the 7 feasts are really the only things that we celebrate. So we don't do Christmas or Easter or Valentine's Day or Mother's Day, or a lot of the days that would traditionally be celebrated. And so that's why we love when the feasts come up, because we can make it a really big deal for our kids, because they don't have to feel like they're always missing out and like, okay, everybody always gets to have a party, how come we don't have a party? So this is our time to go and have a party. So we do lots of things with the kids to help them have a better understanding of our particular belief system, and teaching them how to do things for themselves, like translating different things like that. And it's actually really challenging. I mean, I don't know if anybody out there has actually studied Hebrew, but you really can't get a more different language than you have Hebrew compared to Greek and Latin, upon which the English language is built. So that's one of the things that that makes translating fun, but also really challenging. So we definitely do that, and you guys can see my little ones run in. They understand things are different. For instance, I can say, "Hey guys, what's God's name?"
Yehovah.
See, so for us, they they have a different perspective that may not be consistent with what we see for other people, but that's the way we do things. And the thing that I love about my kids is that they embrace diversity so much. Like, even though we don't celebrate Christmas, they're really happy for their friends when their friends celebrate Christmas and get toys and all that kind of stuff. They're not jealous. They don't feel bad. They love seeing their friends, get things and get toys and have fun. And they when they hear about their friends, and their friends say, "Oh, the tooth fairy bought me this," they say, "Okay, that's great." Even though we don't have the tooth fairy in our home, they also can be sensitive and understanding and appreciate hearing about somebody else's. Hey, you got $5 from the tooth fairy? That's great. So that's one of the things that I really like, and that's one of the cool things about being a minority in some aspect of your life. And you know, all of us have a chance to be, what are you guys doing? All of us have an opportunity to be a minority at some point. Sometimes it's being a racial minority, sometimes it's being a religious minority, sometimes, you know, I mean, there's so many ways where you're kind of doing something different than everybody else. I mean, some people, you know, people that are vegan, they completely understand, like, you have no idea how life is different when you don't eat, you know, milk, you know, dairy products, and you don't eat meat. And oh my goodness, being a raw vegan, you definitely understand the concept of being a minority. But it really, I think it's something that's great for everyone to have opportunity to be in those shoes. And for us, we love it. We go with the flow. We are really excited about feast time. Amazingly excited. So if you guys would like to see some more videos on like how we do the feast and things like that, definitely drop it in the drop some questions in the description box below. I can answer them, or have the kids answer some questions for you guys. Or if you want to, you know why we have the big shofar and what we do with it and all that kind of good stuff, or what we do for Sukkot or Yom Kippur, or what we do for Passover, unleavened bread, first fruit, what all that means, and you know, when did we get started on this whole observant journey. Definitely go ahead and post those questions below. We haven't always been Torah observant. My husband and I were actually raised Christian, and we were Christian for most of our adult lives. So, you know, when we started on this journey, it was, you know, it's been new and discovering and enlightening for us too. So I just thought I would share that because I'm excited, y'all, because it is party time. So wanted to share that. Hope this might be at least somewhat a little bit interesting for others. So if you have any questions, post them below. This is Dr. J, and I'm out. Bye-bye.
Bye. Bye.